You're listening to The Front Porch Show. Some shows are niche shows, talking about specific topics. Others, shows about nothing. This show is the show about everything. On The Front Porch Show, we'll talk about current events, some news, a little bit of politics, along with a whole lot of life. Welcome to Our Front Porch. 1-402-799-1811. That is the message line number. Ozzy looks absolutely perplexed this morning. He's staring at his screen with a furrowed brow. The stash is flaring under his nostril breath.
We were talking about all this stuff, and then all of a sudden we get into Buffalo Wild Wings, and Buffalo Wild Wings sells a few of their sauces at Walmart. I picked up one that's the Asian Zing. It is killer.
Probably my favorite sauce.
Right, and Aaron's like, you know what? I don't like Buffalo Wild Wings because I'm un-American.
I think he pretty much declared his love for communist China.
Right?
And Kim Jong-un.
What in the world,
I mean,
man?
look,
Why
guys.
do you not like Buffalo Wild
I do
Wings?
not like cheap frozen chicken that is doused in cheap sauce.
Ooh.
That costs a lot of money. Like,
It's not-
Buffalo
cost a
Wild
lot of
Wings
money.
is so
That's why-
expensive.
That's why you have to go on, what is it? Is Tuesday
Tuesday
or
or
Thursday when it's
Thursday.
half off, man?
It's a good point. That is a good point.
Just
I don't
saying.
know that I've ever paid full price.
But it's
for
like,
Buffalo
I
Wild
go to
Wings.
I go to
Exactly.
I go
don't
to
think I have either.
Costco and buy an entire
frozen bag
of chicken for like
for cheap.
5-pound bag of chicken.
Wait, cheap frozen chicken.
Yes,
What are we talking about
exactly.
again?
Right.
Which tastes better than
I can
Buffalo
buy-
Wild Wings.
So the only reason you don't like Buffalo Wild Wings is because
You're paying
it's
for
20 it's 20 cents a wing as opposed to 5 cents a wing.
I'm just
Which is,
much. Is that what you're saying?
a legitimate.
that's a
reason.
big
I'm-
cost. That's a 75%
is.
discount.
It is, but the convenience is amazing though. And you get to watch all the TVs, and they have those mad
If
beer
you could
batter
sit
onion
down in
rings, too.
it,
My goodness.
if you could sit down in a Buffalo Wild Wings,
What do you mean if?
if like
I
What are
mean,
you
we
talking
fit in the
about?
booth
I
and
can't
we
sit-
eat there more often.
I can't
so I
sit
don't know
there.
why you can't sit in
What do you
there.
mean?
I think
Why
ours
can't
is
you
still
sit there?
closed. Like maybe they're open now.
Oh! I was
You're
like,
going
what are
that
you
route.
talking about? Oh, I was
Yeah.
like, does he
All right,
not know
so-
what restaurant we're talking about?
What's
So
your favorite
five-
sauce? What's
yeah,
your favorite
five-
sauce?
Top 5 sauces. What do you think?
It's top
or
5.
3.
Let's see. Was the garlic? The garlic
Parmesan
Parmesan.
garlic,
Yeah.
That one's pretty good. The medium sauce isn't actually half bad. It's a very
Just
traditional,
a standard medium buffalo.
just a standard
yeah.
medium buffalo sauce. It's actually pretty good. The Caribbean jerk one is mad good.
Mhm,
The
yes.
mango habanero one, that one's not bad. That's
Had
got
that.
some
I
heat
had
to
that.
it,
I haven't
though.
tried it.
That's got some heat to it though. I think those are the top 4 that I have. I can't think of any more. No. They have like a honey barbecue one or something too. That's really
Yeah.
good.
Have you guys tried the new Nashville hot one? I saw that
I
last time
haven't,
I was
but
in
that
there.
sounds
know,
good.
Nashville
I would
hot,
try
I'm not that huge a fan of Nashville
Really?
hot stuff.
Really?
It's
Get
just
out.
I don't know. It's got way too much heat for the taste.
Mm.
Do you know what I mean? Like
I am with you, Ozzy. Like, if I'm
And
going to eat something hot, I don't mind hot, but I want hot flavor. I don't want
Yeah,
Right,
I agree
right.
with that. But
feel like I
Right,
stuck my
right.
face in a fire.
that's the thing that
Right.
I don't like about Buffalo Wild Wings. I feel like they always go stupid hot with no flavor.
Okay,
Like
What
the,
are you
the-
talking about?
don't get
blazing
the
sauce.
hot
The
buffalo.
blazing sauce is
You
just
know-
not
Don't
that
get
good.
it.
There's the
You
there's
want-
the little hot peppers right next to it that
Do
tell
you-
you how hot it's gonna
Do you want
be.
flavor with
know.
heat? Get the Caribbean jerk. Get the mango
Yes.
habanero, like Ben said. Like Caribbean
Yes.
jerk has this amazing, like
Oh,
it
man.
definitely
It's
has like
got
a
that
afterburn, but the flavor is so good on it.
Yep.
So
See,
good.
Every sauce
And then
I've
if you-
tried from
and
there, it
same
just
thing
leaves
with the
me
chili.
wanting.
And same thing with the sweet Asian zinger. It's like a
the
sweet
Asian
chili
Zing-
sauce.
The Asian thing is mad good.
Mm.
My goodness.
Because so I usually get like 3. If I go on like the cheap wing night and I'm just gonna eat a bunch of wings, I usually get you have to order at least 5 of each flavor or something like that.
Something like that.
So I'll expose how much of a pig I am. I'll get 3 flavors, and I'll get
Dude, we got
the Asian zing, the Caribbean jerk, and the garlic parmesan or parmesan
Mhm.
garlic, whichever way they say it. And then that kind of helps you eat one of those parmesan garlics in between, and it kind of cancels out
Oh,
the heat a
man.
little bit. But
now.
the
All
sweet-
right, here's something that I didn't know. All right. Do you know, because we are pickle people here, and we went to Peter Piper's Pickles, which has a
He
ridiculous
had peppers,
ridiculous
didn't he?
variety of pickles. So they will.
Could you
give
say he has
like,
a
their hottest-
preposterous variety of pickles? A preposterous plethora of pickles?
I do like your proposal on the preposterous plethora of pickles. So they will give you one of their really hot ones, which is actually really good, and then they'll give you one of the sweet ones, and the sweet will cancel out that burn from the hot one.
Interesting.
It's really, really strange, and I did not know that. And it actually kind of holds true with hot things. If you do like something that's extremely hot, and then you do a sweet after that of some sauce, it actually helps cancel that burn out. So there's some consumer advice for you that you only
There you
find
go.
at the Front Porch Show. Let's start the subscriptions.
No one
$5 a month. will
That's
get
right.
you more
Patreon,
consumer
folks,
advice.
because where else are you going to get that information?
It's true.
Right?
It's true.
You can send the check straight to just Venmo Jeff at thefrontporchshow.com. Just Jeff at thefrontporchshow.com. The complaints go to Tombstone. The cash goes to me. We'll settle it all out.
Yeah, right.
We have this place called Buffalo Wings and Rings in Omaha.
Oh, so a
Oh.
knockoff.
No,
We have this.
no.
We have this place called Nick Donald's. It's
My uncle
They-
Nick. He started
my
it.
Uncle Nick
They-
started
It's
it.
got nothing to do with
It's
it.
yellow with a little bit of red accent, and it sells burgers
This is
and fries.
Ronald McDonald's brother Randall.
They
Yeah, Randall Nick Donald.
they feature never frozen wings, which are much better than the Buffalo Wild Wings.
So they take these buffaloes in the wild and just cut the
Right.
wings straight
What, they
off
have a
and bring them
buffalo
straight to
sitting
the
out
table.
Back?
Do
Seriously.
they own a buffalo farm?
Do
Probably
they have buffalo burgers too?
more than
Why
likely.
do the
They're going to
buffalo
sue us.
burgers
You know,
taste different than buffalo wings? Like, why are the wings taste like chicken and the burgers taste like beef?
It's a different
That
part of
is
the
an
animal. It's
That
like
is
light
an
meat, dark
amazing
meat.
Animal.
It's
That is
like
an
light meat,
amazing
dark meat.
animal, right?
so they
Exactly. It's more like light meat, red meat, but you know.
oh my goodness, you people. They have a sauce. They have a nice sauce recipe, but my favorite sauce they have is called garlic
Wow.
Q. And
Garlic
it is
Q?
garlic Q, and it is
So
a
it's a garlic
blend.
barbecue.
It's a blend of their sweet barbecue sauce and their garlic barbecue sauce.
You know,
And
Famous Dave's has some
you
good
can-
sauces too.
you can add your heat. So you pick your heat tolerance.
Okay.
So you
To the
order
same
your
flavor?
garlic Q. Yeah,
What's your
same,
So they will
same
just heat
flavor,
up
just
the
a
same
little
flavor?
bit heat.
What's your heat tolerance?
I go a medium. I go medium.
Well, if I'm at the lake, the mid 80s, but if I'm like outside in the yard, I'm thinking like 70 max.
I'm usually
Oh,
like
is that
around
not-
You're a
70,
lightweight,
75.
Jeff.
Is that not what we're talking about?
You're a lightweight.
Oh.
But
what's your heat
anyways, they have
tolerance?
really good wings. But much better than Buffalo Wild Wings. Much
I would
better.
like a side-by-side comparison. And then I
Okay.
would like you to compare
Sponsored by the Front Porch Show.
Chick-fil-A spicy chicken sandwich with all three of those and find out that the meat that is sent down from the heavens will beat all of them.
So that's my question for you. Is the Chick-fil-A sandwich made up of like is the bun made of manna and the sandwich made of the quail that are
Oh,
sent each
it's
morning and evening?
possible.
Or
It's possible. Where do they get the pickles though?
Ooh.
Pickles just come like
Ooh.
where's that like that's gotta
Uh,
be something. I don't
They're
know.
from the seed that fell on the fertile ground.
That's it.
Wow, that's a stretch.
Really? And the rest of it wasn't?
I mean,
Actually, we're
I love
learning
how
that
he's-
the rest
I
of the
love how
organization probably
He's
isn't from
bringing
seed that fell.
morality into this equation now. He's
Wait,
like, you know,
wait,
I think
There's
the
deep.
pickle
Wait,
was a
wait,
bit
wait,
of a
wait.
stretch.
There's
The
deeper.
manna is
There's
fine.
deeper meaning to those parables. I
Whoa.
thought it was a story about a farmer.
Chick-fil-A
Sorry,
farmer.
I don't know. I was
It's
just.
gotta be.
You guys were going with the Chick-fil-A jokes, and I probably went a little sacrilegious there. Sorry.
It did. It's good.
shocking. Mm.
It is actually
Anyway.
shocking. If anyone's going to go sacrilegious, we figured it'd be Mathis on this show. But seems out Tombstone's not here.
Well, you got a point.
Oh my goodness.
Man, lots going on in our country this week. We've got protests. We've got What else do we have? Economies crashing.
We had
and
the
coming
rocket.
back.
The rocket
Maybe.
launched. We haven't talked about that.
Oh,
that was on
Did you guys
Saturday.
see that?
I did. Yes.
That
I
was
did not,
incredible.
unfortunately,
Well, you're a
but that was
loser,
cool.
Jeff.
Amazing.
We'll talk about that.
We will talk about that.
What else we got here? We got something about some bricklaying robot thing. I don't know.
It's cool, Ozzy.
That was Ozzy's nickname in college sports, the bricklaying
robot.
It was. I heard a lot of people.
I was talking about basketball.
Ton of bricks.
We are back. Guys, this week has been a pretty volatile time in our country. We've got, I don't even know how to describe it. I mean, protests that stemmed from the death of George Floyd, and I guess provoked also by the Ahmaud Arbery murder in Georgia. That case in and of itself is getting much weirder as more video has come out, which shows the guys in the pickup truck attempting to run him over and actually hitting him.
Yeah.
And then screaming racial slurs at him. It's bad, guys.
That's always the way to go.
And they were screaming those racial slurs from the truck before they even got in a fight with him.
Yes, and then shot him.
Yeah.
So
from the beginning, that one seemed screwy because no matter what you think is going on in your neighborhood, like you don't react like that unless you either have issues or you've just witnessed a crime committed. And they did not witness a crime committed. They saw some guy running and then they just chased him down. And that one from the start has been a very obvious.
His quote was, "He looked like a criminal."
Right.
And it's like,
yeah,
guys, you can't.
Which alone by itself doesn't necessarily mean anything. Anybody could look like a criminal if they're doing something suspicious, but I think mixed with all the other guys, with all their other behavior, it's very obvious.
I think here's the thing. Cut and dry. This certainly looks much more racially motivated than the Minnesota case.
Correct. The one in Georgia appears to be
because there's actually a history of this guy being or proof that this guy is a racist.
The instance in Minnesota looks like an instance of bad over aggressive policing. And I think we've talked about this some. We've compiled some statistics we want to dig into, but we're just tired of a little bit of it this week. I think Mathis, you and I have talked kind of off the record.
Yeah.
Our honest curiosity is we differ in opinion on what we think the outcome will be, but we want to look into the numbers because is there this racial bias in the policing system? Because I think that's the argument here is whether Derek Chauvin himself did this committed murder essentially out of racism, whether he did or not. The whole system is racist, and that's what even put. I think the broader claim by the protesters, if I'm understanding it correctly, is the entire system is racist, which then creates these encounters where bad police officers act out and kill black victims.
Right.
That I don't know that there's a cut and dried excuse for that. And some numbers indicate there may be, some numbers indicate there may not be. Some research done by people like professors at the University of Michigan, researchers at the University of Michigan has seemed to indicate that there's not racial bias, but there is some discrepancy in some numbers. The case in Georgia is 100% pure. There seems to be no doubt.
Jumping onto the jury of public opinion, but it seems cut and dry.
The one in Georgia still obviously requires much more litigation as far as how it all went down. there's less known, and we're learning more and more, as you said, Mathis. But there's less known about those entire circumstances, where the entire 8-minute video is pretty obvious.
Yeah.
In the Minneapolis case with George Floyd, that should
So-
not have happened.
So in Minnesota, they did up the charges.
Okay, what do we got
Um,
now?
So as of right now, it looks like they added charges of 3rd-degree murder and 2nd-degree manslaughter. Now, Jeff, I don't remember exactly how.
Oh, we dug through it.
I know. So I guess. So let's see. So the charges against Derek Chauvin, this is courtesy of CNN. The former officer who kept his knee on the neck were expanded this week to include the more serious one of 2nd-degree murder. So it was 2nd-degree murder that they added. 3rd-degree murder and 2nd-degree manslaughter is what was already there. So
All right,
so they are keeping all those other charges and making the jury decide which one it is. Does that make sense?
well, I think so. Say it again, because I was reading some
So
of this.
they added 2nd-degree murder, which is
I think the idea is you bring a bunch of charges, and then if you can't prove one, maybe you can prove the lesser one.
right.
And
Okay.
I've seen some, and
But
I've seen some caution from some people of you gotta. Maybe we talked about this last week. Maybe it was in a different forum. We talked about this where the danger, and this happens sometimes.
Yeah.
In response to these emotional things, is they come out swinging and try to overcharge.
Right.
And because they overcharge, they end up not being able to prove that high level that they charge, and then people get away with they don't get convicted because they overcharge. So
Yeah.
that's got to be something you got to be careful of. So it seems like they're adding. They've started with murder 3, they added murder 2, and 2nd-degree manslaughter. So I was looking for it in the Minnesota statutes, their definitions. I don't see the murder definition yet. I do have manslaughter in the 2nd degree. A person who causes the death of another by any of the following means is guilty of manslaughter in the 2nd degree and may be sentenced to imprisonment for not more than 10 years or payment of a fine not more than 20,000 or both. So things that could be considered 2nd-degree manslaughter. The person's culpable negligence, whereby the person creates an unreasonable risk and consciously takes chances of causing death or great bodily harm to another. I think that would probably be the definition
like it
applied to
fits
this
pretty
case.
well.
Shooting another with a firearm or dangerous weapon as a result of negligently believing the other to be a deer or an animal. So that would be like hunters that don't pay attention. Setting of a spring gun, pitfall, deadfall. So basically, if you set a trap, negligently or intentionally permitting any animal to cause. So basically, if you have a dangerous animal off leash and it harms someone,
That's manslaughter.
That's under manslaughter.
Okay.
Negligent endangerment of a child.
So I have
and murder in the 1st, 2nd, or 3rd degree is not committed thereby. And then, if proven by a preponderance of the evidence, it shall be an affirmative defense to criminal liability under Clause 4 that the victim provoked the animal to cut. Okay, so
Sounds
that
like the
was
first
with the
definition
animal
is
one.
probably
So
what
the
they're
other
gonna
ones
I
don't
have-
really apply. So the first
I have-
definition is the negligence that you create an unreasonable risk and consciously take chances of causing death or great bodily harm to another.
So I have the 3rd-degree murder, and it's acting eminently dangerous to others and evincing a depraved mind, without intent to kill, but without regard for life.
This is in Minnesota
this
specifically.
I believe so. This is courtesy of the CNN article, because they go into the breakdown of it. So, the Minnesota Attorney General Keith Ellison, he added what is known as felony murder to it, which means the defendant intentionally committed some felony here, assault, that a death resulted. And so, yeah, I'm not gonna...
So essentially, 3rd degree was you intentionally acted maliciously and a murder resulted.
Yes.
So manslaughter is you acted negligently and death resulted.
Correct.
3rd degree murder is you acted maliciously and death resulted. 2nd degree murder is
would have been you actually
essentially intended to try to kill him. But I think still it's more the whole like crime of passion, right? It's not
Yes.
like first
Like, you
degree
did
is
not
like they
plan it.
found yeah, the first degree is they come into your house and find an entire hit list and planning on the
Right.
wall, and yeah,
It's premeditated mostly.
premeditated is what it is. So I don't know that they're going to be able to prove second degree. Read that description again.
That was an act eminently dangerous to others and evincing a depraved mind. I
That
think it's
description is
close.
not as clear as the other ones.
I agree, but it's legalese. So, anyway, so the other 3 officers got charged as well. I don't know if you guys heard about that.
Wait, that was
heard.
third degree or second degree that you just read?
That was third degree.
Oh yeah. Third degree, I think they can prove. What was second degree?
Let's see. I don't. Second degree. I think I don't see second degree here. Second degree.
Well, I thought you described it. You said that one representative explained or something.
No.
Yeah, I think third degree will probably be easily proven. I don't think it's just
so
manslaughter.
they are leaving both cases according to the Minnesota state law. You can do that. You can leave both cases, and the jury can decide which one.
Interesting.
So the other 3 officers, Thomas Lane, Alexander Queuing, and Tao.
Tu Tao?
Tao?
Is he the Asian guy?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Assuming, right?
They are charged with aiding and abetting second degree murder and aiding and abetting second degree manslaughter.
I think that's fair charges. I get so I don't know if we talked about this last week. So it comes out that one of the police officers, Kang, is that his last name?
Queuing.
Queuing. He was working his 3rd shift ever as a full-time police officer.
Yeah.
And Lane was working his 4th day as a full-time police officer. So you have 2 rookie cops essentially in this situation. Now, you have to stand up for what's right no matter where you are in the organization. So I don't think that their greenness exempts them from their charges personally. I think that I can definitely empathize with not knowing what to do because of, I'm new here. These other guys have more experience. I don't want to, this may be sad, but with some of the culture, I don't want to come off weak. On the other side of it, I don't want to intervene when I don't know everything. We've talked about this before, right? If you watch, which I guess they've taken them off TV now to be sensitive, but if you watch Cops or in the modern day Live PD, which, like I said, I saw an article that they've all been removed from airing because
That's
of
interesting.
Which I think is dumb in response to this, but they've done it. You see so many grifters out there who are clearly doing something wrong, and the second the police interact with them, my shoulder hurts, I can't breathe, I need the air conditioning on. Your car was too hot when you put me in it, man, you pushed me. You know what I'm saying? Like we see the instant reaction where people are lying and just trying to manipulate the police to try to have some power in the situation. And so I think 2 things happen. You get the young guys trained that the people you encounter are going to do this. They're going to lie to you. They're going to do all these things to try to manipulate you. And then you get the old kind of crusty cop who's seen it all and doesn't give a crap and doesn't listen anymore. And if you get a mixture of those 2, the young guys aren't really going to know what to do to speak up and say. I mean, this case, I don't get it as an outside bystander because this case looks very clearly wrong. The guy isn't struggling. Like, it seems pretty darn clear to me. Like, there's no need to be on top of this guy for 8 minutes. There's absolutely no need. So this case seems very clearly wrong. And especially when you're being videotaped, I don't understand. So here's an example I'll use, I guess, as I think about this in this modern era. Have you guys ever watched any videotapes of cops arresting cops?
Yes.
So there was a famous one a couple of years back up here in northern Michigan, not far from where my grandparents live, where a state trooper gets a call and shows up and pulls over a SUV for driving erratically. It's like midday, mid-morning. And it's a drunk driver, and he's pretty clearly just plastered. And it turns out he's a local police officer or sheriff, something of some sort up there, and the state trooper has him pulled over. And he's going through a divorce or something, so he's having a bad time. He got hammered, now he's out driving around. The dash cam and body cam footage goes on for probably a half hour, and I think like a game warden or something stops too. Like, he wasn't like a full-on police officer, but maybe like a DNR guy kind of stops and is helping the state trooper. And they spend over a half hour trying to coax this off-duty police officer out of his vehicle. He keeps saying, no, just let me stay here. Let me sleep it off. I promise I won't drive. I'll sleep it off. Like, you're going to ruin my career if you do this. And the state trooper keeps saying, this is my job, and I'll ruin my career if I don't do my job. But they spend over a half hour like coaxing him out of his vehicle, being very careful how they do it and what they say. I mean, they eventually get him in cuffs, and they kind of have to manhandle him into the back of the state trooper car because he won't cooperate. And they end up having to like pick up his legs and shove him in the back of the car. But they take over a half hour doing it, and they're very gentle about how they approach him. And I totally respect that state trooper for the way he handled it, for actually enforcing the law on a fellow police officer instead of letting him off. I think all that's a very good thing. I also watched that interaction, and let's leave race aside for a second. They would never be that gracious or patient with another civilian. They wouldn't do it. After about 5 minutes of you drunkenly ignoring their requests, they would have thrown you out on the ground, handcuffed you, and thrown you in the back of the car. Very personally, I think the other, no matter what his rank is, an off-duty police officer from another whatever should still be treated that same way as just a civilian. And he should have been thrown out of the car, handcuffed, and thrown in the back of the police car if he wasn't going to cooperate. To some extent. I mean, not
Right.
violently thrown out, but you know what I'm saying? Like, instead of spending a half hour coaxing him, at some point you grab him by the hands, you cuff him, because the guy wasn't going to fully resist like a cuffing, you know, but he also was just verbally sparring with him.
Right.
And I feel like the way the police officer, where I'm getting to with that example, the way those police officers acted in that instance is how they need to approach a lot more of their interactions with the public, especially
Right.
knowing how many cameras are rolling.
It's
Whoa,
that,
whoa, 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 whoa. Hold on.
okay.
You just
You're
said
gonna find trouble with what I said.
did just a little bit. You said especially knowing that the cameras are rolling.
Yes, meaning if you have no principles, if you have nothing else, if you don't really care about how you treat people, but you care about your job, at the very least, you should know. Like, it's kind of like when your parents are telling you, like, don't take that even when nobody's watching, because you know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
like they're, but then they'll tell you as a kid, but Jesus is always watching, you know, like, you know, there's that level of like, if you're not going to do it for any of the right reasons, also know that everybody's watching you and you're going to get in trouble anyway. So if you can't do it for any of the right reasons, at least know that you're going to hurt your career by doing this. That's my point. Like, even if you're the total
to what you're doing.
Yeah, even if you're the total
I agree with you, Jeff. I agree with you, Jeff. I don't like it though.
It's the entire
but I agree
thing
with
of,
you. Yeah,
it's the entire thing of, if you can't do it because it's the right thing to do it because you need to be selfish and need a job.
Yeah. If you can't do it, exactly. No, exactly.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah. Do you want to be charged with murder and your wife divorce you and your career ruined and your life ruined and you know, at least let those be deterring factors. If you can't do it because you shouldn't treat your fellow human that way, you know, if you can't at least get to this level, well, we should have a discussion if you should be a police officer or not. But we can't vet all those people out. And that's what dash cams and body cams are for, accountability. So that it's like we kind of talk about with like different rules and laws. They're not really there for the general good law abiding, quote unquote person. They're there for those other people that, you know, I would just wander up in that garage and take that guy's generator if nobody was looking. But if someone happens to see me because they have a Ring doorbell, I'm going to go to jail for it. So I'm not going to wander up there and take it. Ben's looking shocked like he wasn't supposed to steal his neighbor's generator. So if anyone's looking for a generator in New Jersey, then but you get what I'm saying? So if you already are proving you're the lowest common denominator, that you would be willing to engage in these things in secret, but you're in a street in broad daylight where everyone carries like a 4K phone on them these days, don't do it. You get my point?
No, I look, I agree with you. I just wanted you to clarify a little bit. I wasn't trying to come down on you too hard, but the way you said it, I was like, oh, that could be taken very wrong.
Yeah. So that's all I'm saying is they should use, and obviously you can't use, I think they use too much restraint in the example that I gave.
Right.
So I don't know if they should take that long on every stop. That's not what I'm advocating for, because then they would never get anything done. Now, I think there should be a lot less stops because there should be a lot less petty crimes, but that's a whole nother thing. The point being,
easy there, you're gonna let your libertarian come out.
the point being, restraint, and especially like the gentleman in the video I'm referring to in Northern Michigan a couple of years ago had restraint because he obviously was a good person who had restraint. But if you can't get to where he is and be a good person, at least know people are watching.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. So I drove downtown Omaha the other day. Drove down Dodge Street. That's the main drag that goes through Omaha. And I drove through Dodge and 72nd Street, which is about 6 miles, 5 miles from downtown, and all the stores had smashed windows. Protests had devolved, and had turned into rioting, and they were just smashing windows, many windows as they could. And the Target there, I don't know if the Target was looted or just smashed up, but all the windows in the Target were completely destroyed.
That's crazy.
Along the front of the store. Like, man.
It's frustrating because, like you said, there's just the way people are responding to this. There's so many bad actors mixed in with it, infiltrating it, or just using it as an excuse.
Right.
I
want this to be a good protest. I love a good protest. I want this to be something that, hey, there can be some change out of this. I want that to happen.
Yeah.
I am concerned about the bad actors, including the BLM organization, which has been co-opted by progressive left.
Correct.
I have a lot of concerns with that.
When you go to their actual website, and this is my concern with even reaching the level of like hashtagging BLM in some post or something. And that is because if you have a deeper understanding, and I understand a lot of people are doing that right now to show their support. They don't understand the deeper political, and everyone's like, well, don't make this about politics. This is about a man's life. No, you're right. It's about a man's life. The trouble is that hashtag and the group starting it is a political organization.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so if you're going to then all of a sudden associate with it, you have to understand that they support protests where the signs say good cops or dead cops. And, you know, I saw this, a guy who I believe is very well-meaning, to be honest, is in many times pro-Trump, right-wing, pro-Second Amendment, also happens to be African-American in my newsfeed, a friend of mine on Facebook. And he's helping organize a lot of the protests in Flint, which I will also come out and say Flint, no one would expect it, right? Like it was basically the murder capital of the country for a while. And Flint at the moment is a beacon of peaceful protest to the rest of the country for two reasons. And those reasons are protesters who knew how to do it correctly, who marched, but who sat down and protested peacefully, and then for a police force and a sheriff of the county who reacted in a very positive manner to the protesters' olive branch that they put out, and they set down their batons and their shields, and they walked with them and talked with them, and they've talked with them multiple days now, and not everything's fixed because of one action. I'm not saying that at all, but they've
healing has begun.
They've continued to have multiple days of peaceful protesting there because both sides acted maturely. And within those groups, I'm sure there were a few individual officers that maybe didn't act maturely, and I'm sure there was a few individual protesters that didn't act maturely in different parts of the city. But the overwhelming story coming out of that city, because now also when the large main protest walks up, sits down, is peaceful, doesn't agitate, and the police respond in kind and everyone's peaceful, the bad actors within that group that are looking for a chance to act out, they see like, well, shoot, now I can't pick up and throw the first brick because no one's going to join me because everyone's sitting down and talking to each other.
Who would
So
have
I got
thought?
to go somewhere else.
And I think this is also something that needs to be done inside of these groups, is that you have policing inside of that group.
And many of them are.
People.
I mean,
do you know what I
you've
mean?
seen-
Not police doing it, but
self-policing,
you know what I'm saying?
self-policing,
Right,
yeah.
right. That you're self-policing the group into saying, and I think it's just a lot of these people are just either just blatantly immature, and this is just what they think needs to happen, is they need to take violent action against whatever it is, or it's just people who are just going to agitate things because they want to just get stuff.
Correct. Well, and that's what it is. There's so many people. You see it with even like when all of a sudden some team wins the Super Bowl and everyone's out in the street like partying, and then they're partying by jumping up and down on a car, and that's kind of cool and people think it's fun, and then a group of guys will, let's see if we can flip the car over, and then all of a sudden it's this signal to everyone else, well, they flipped the car over and that's technically property damage, so now I can go through a brick through this window because it seems like fun, and no one's even mad about that. They're having fun in doing it. So in any large group, there are these people that the minute the group signals that the group is beyond the bounds of civil acceptable behavior, and that the group is so big the police aren't going to be able to control it, as soon as anything can go, they will start doing anything because they've been itching to do anything all along. But if they do it without a group around them, they'll get caught.
So here's a question.
So you have those people in every group.
Here's a question.
I think just so to wrap it back up, like I think that, as you were saying, Mathis, about like the actual physical BLM organization, there's concern with the political stances they take, the messages they push, the things they're okay. They're one of their main objectives on their website right now is to defund the police entirely. And I know that the libertarians that listen to the show,
let's talk about that. Minneapolis
I know the libertarians
right now,
that listen to the show would love that. As a classical liberal, as someone who understands there is some role for government in our lives, that's not a good. Do you
think? All right. Here's my question though, because I agree with you. I think that we do need police because we're gonna be all of a sudden wind up with anything goes, and then what are you gonna?
It's the Wild West. Everyone just defend themselves, and then
So, do you think that the police? Because this is the other thing that I've heard, is that the police are being paid. Not paid too much per police officer and what they're doing, but that the organizations of police have too much money and that they're not utilizing it well. Because I think you were talking about in New York, they're talking about like $6 billion or something ridiculous like that.
I don't know that they have too much money. Maybe some organizations do. I think it's it's the entire philosophy of policing in this country, and so that money is being allocated to MRAPs and multicam clothing, and MRAPs being mine resistant anti-personnel vehicles or personnel carriers. Basically meaning big armored vehicles. Not anti-personnel, armored personnel. It's mine-resistant armored personnel carrier, I think is what the MRAP is. So basically military equipment. Military equipment's being put on the streets, and as long as you paint it black and say SWAT, or in some cases, they're not even bothering to paint it black anymore. They're just leaving it olive drab or desert tan and rolling it down the street. And so I saw a very interesting list of some actual things that could come out of this that we could do to help reduce police violence and do these things. And one of the points, and again, this is a more libertarian talking point, but it's very, there's obviously reducing some of the petty crimes, tag lights out, failure to turn signal, like these dumb interactions that lead to other things between police officers, like limit police officer interaction with individuals to true rights violations. Person A violated person's B rights. The police are here to enforce the law because the law should uphold your rights. Along with that, they made a very good point. What percentage of interactions on like live PD would you say that these are? And the person made the point, police officers are not social services workers. We need to stop having police officers called out to dispute between boyfriend and girlfriend arguing over who fed the cat or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like how many times does a police officer have to show up and try to act like a social services worker between two angry people just arguing with each other.
Between two people who should be able to deal with their issues on their
Who
own.
should either be able to deal with their issues on their own. They're not at a point where they're like, and I get why the police get called, because you let that go on too far, and then it can turn into a physical confrontation, and then the police do need to be there. And so they usually, when people hear a potential for an escalation, the police get called before it escalates. So I don't know how you would compartmentalize that and prevent them from going to those instances.
I was going to say, do you think that they should like almost combine both of those teams up? You know what I'm saying? Like have social workers on ride-alongs with the police
to be honest, it may be worth it, like in each unit or in areas where this, because you know when you watch live PD, there's those certain counties where they're almost always in the trailer parks, and it's always one of those domestic disputes. And like if you know that is a high likelihood of interaction in your office, then you hire some people who maybe aren't even given a gun, who are literally hired and trained in the social work aspect, that are just part of your unit, and you take that money that you were using to buy, well, better training. But are you now asking your police officers to be a jack of all trades? You want him to know the law, you want him to be able to shoot and engage with criminals, you want him to be able to talk people and I get it can be done. Okay, so there's the example, the show was kind of big for years, Flashpoint. I don't know if did you ever watch Flashpoint?
No.
I think it was like on one of those more like off, like PAX or whatever those channels were, like a little more off the main beaten path. It's actually set in Toronto, but it's called the SRU, Strategic Response Unit. Okay. And it's essentially like their version of SWAT, but it's not just SWAT. It's not just we kick the door down, we shoot people, we throw the flashbangs, and it's over. Like they were also, each team had one or two trained negotiators, and their first response is always getting to the scene, creating a perimeter, negotiating. Lethal force is the very last option, but they do take it when they need to take it. I didn't disagree with every message that was in every episode, but it's a different philosophy to policing of showing up, negotiating, and talking to people before you, but also being trained in the SWAT tactics. And so that's what you're talking about, I think, Ben.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of what.
Yeah, because I feel like a lot of these interactions with just going through, I went down the YouTube rabbit hole a couple times, but just going
Careful
down
there.
and you have, yeah, it can be bad, but just the amount of training, because it seems like that we have, they're trained on how to do everything, but there's a severe lack of training on certain areas. You know, I feel like that it should be more difficult to become a police officer, or require more, like, you know what I'm saying, instead of
or at least to move up through the
instead of it being okay, this is the 2 years of police academy, and then you get thrown into it. Maybe
2 years
or
6 weeks or whatever it is. I don't know how long it is. It's not 2 years.
Okay, maybe it should be a year or 2 years. You know what I'm saying? So that you can get the education to deal with the situations as they sit now. Because
and then you're going to need to compensate them as professionals if you do that as well, obviously.
I don't disagree. I don't disagree. But I'm saying, you know, the training needs to be there, because I think a lot of it is just severe lack of training. And I don't know if this is just the old guard dying off and training the new guard, because we were talking about with George Floyd, we had the guys who were super green and new up against the guys who were veterans and had been there. Now, if those veterans were guys who were, or those people that were green and new were with a different set of guys, that could have been a completely different circumstance. And I'm not saying, you know what I mean?
I know what you're trying to say.
Who potentially, you don't want these guys to treat people the way that these veterans are treating people, but this is the people that are training the new people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then the other, and unfortunately, the trouble is, even if you train the new guys separately, but then you put them out there in the field with the senior guys, they're going to want to defer to the senior guys no matter what they've been told in the classroom. And the senior guys are going to be like, those stuffed shirts in the classroom don't know anything. Here's the real world, the streets. And you might defeat all that training anyways. And this is where you have to you have
That's
to
why
be
you have to
pro.
aggressively
You have
go
to be
after
pro law enforcement.
change.
You have to be pro like. We have to have some civilized society, and so you have to be pro law and order. But you also have to. That doesn't mean back the blue no matter what. That means aggressively
right there, man.
go after the bad actors in any industry. In any industry, if you respect the integrity of your industry and you want your industry to be the best it can be, you aggressively weed out the bad actors. And we talked about this some last week. Instead of trying to save face for your industry by covering up the bad actors, you just absolutely hang them out to dry to show your commitment to transparency and good acting. And that's what needs to happen.
I think with that, if you do that to enough people, you're going to get the people that are going to shape up, or they're going to retire and get out.
Yep.
Because they're not going to be able to make it. So that's, I think, would be how great way.
Wow, I totally lost my train of thought. No, it's okay. I was just gonna add to that. But never mind. It ended in a good spot.
Okay, good.
Minneapolis city council member wants to disband the police. What's gonna happen? Yes, no.
What's going to happen?
Yeah, what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen?
How are they going to do it?
I don't know. They're just calling for the disband of the police.
It should not happen.
They think they can solve.
I mean, if they want to, they can. But I don't think I'm ever going to visit Minnesota.
Okay, then we've got Buffalo, New York. Buffalo, New York. Entire task force quits after two members resign after pushing over an old man.
Do you want to go out and come back into this video? Because we've been here a long time, or do we want to cover? So I saw this video
real quick.
I saw this video. I didn't see a lot leading up to it. The video starts pretty shortly, but essentially there's this old guy they're out on the street. I don't know if they're even enforcing a curfew or why they're trying to get him to move back, but he's kind of jawing at the police. They're trying to get him to move back, and then they just shove this guy over, and he's an older guy, and he hits his head on the ground and stuff like that. They shove him down. Again, I do not think it's, again, my appeal, even if you're not that good of a person, or if you've had a really bad day and you've been called every name in the book and you're so frustrated, you're on camera. So try to keep, I understand that it would take next superhuman level control maybe to withstand this stuff. Well, you're supposed to be a hero in that job, so to do the superhuman control no matter what it takes, because you shove this guy. I very rightly think that these officers got in trouble for shoving this guy. So this shows you the dangerhood of the brotherhood thing. Like I think the police officers in that job, it's such a tough job. You need the brotherhood, right? You need to be able to rely on the guy next to you, even if you don't know his name. He shows up and he's going to be on your team. But when you've committed a pretty bad act on camera and the entire department resigns to support you, that's the kind of stuff I'm talking about that you've just got to aggressively weed out, because unless we learn more about this video, the video looked deserving of punishment. And for everyone to resign to show their support for him seems a little disturbing to me.
Yeah.
But that's my thoughts with the limited thing I know about
We live in a very complicated place in our society right now.
Right.
And I pray we can find peace. I pray that we can reconcile all this and find a solution. More policing, I don't think, is the option. And I don't think rioting is the option either. We do not live in a either or world.
By the way, if rioting is the response, it will beget more policing, and that is the right response, unfortunately, at that point.
I agree. But however, it's like neither one of them is going to solve the bigger issues at stake, and it's just going to keep perpetuating stuff. And guys, I don't know. I hope we can come up with a solution.
You are about to embark upon the great crusade toward which we have striven these many months. The eyes of the world are upon you. The hopes and prayers of liberty-loving people everywhere march with you. In company with our brave allies and brothers in arms on other fronts, you will bring about the destruction of the German war machine, the elimination of Nazi tyranny over the oppressed peoples of Europe, and security for ourselves in a free world. Your task will not be an easy one. Your enemy is well trained, well equipped, and battle hardened. He will fight savagely. But this is the year 1944. Much has happened since the Nazi triumphs of 1940-41. The United Nations have inflicted upon the Germans great defeats in open battle, man to man. Our air offensive has seriously reduced their strength in the air and their capacity to wage war on the ground. Our home fronts have given us an overwhelming superiority in weapons and munitions of war, and placed at our disposal great reserves of trained fighting men. The tide has turned. The free men of the world are marching together to victory. I have full confidence in your courage, devotion to duty, and skill in battle. We will accept nothing less than full victory.
That was
Good luck.
Dwight D. Eisenhower, and he was giving the D-Day invasion speech for in 1944, June 6th.
And that was, yeah, the speech I believe was delivered on the 5th.
I believe so.
Of course,
yes.
if I recall correctly, they were going to go on the 5th potentially, and it was scrubbed, and they went on the 6th. But we bring that up because though you will be hearing this on Monday, we are recording on Saturday, June 6th, the anniversary of D-Day. And we thought it might be fitting to mention with a lot of the discussion of a lot of the bad going on in this world. I guess there was a lot of bad going on then too, but just the brave men who addressed that wrong at a great cost.
Yep. Yeah. Wow. So how do we pivot from that one, guys?
I don't know that we pivot
Take
from
us
that,
out.
but
I just did. I just did.
No.
Good job.
no,
All right.
Good job.
So
Wait.
we've
No,
Did you take us out or did you not take
No,
us
I
out?
didn't take us out.
Yeah.
I didn't take us out.
Oh, you said
No.
I just did.
No. I just pivoted.
No, I just
All right. Pivoting.
Gotcha, you
Pivoting.
just
How about we
pivoted. I just
pivot to
pivoted.
space?
that was a rough pivot. That
I know
was a
it was a hard pivot.
It was
It was like we went from really sobering to really exciting with space. Did you guys watch
Well,
the
I mean,
space launch?
I think what we're doing, we're going from one monumental act to
failing
another
miserably.
monumental act.
Yeah. Okay. There you
Thank
go.
you for
Yeah.
I mean,
saying
really,
that.
we're going
Thank you,
from
Jeff.
two.
Good
We're
job.
going from moments of American greatness to other moments of American greatness, and then I'll get yelled
Yes.
at for making it American and not the world stage.
It's almost like
'cause
you're
obviously
saying
there
"Make
was
America
Canadian
Great
and
Again."
British forces as well. No.
No.
We're terrible.
I know.
We're
But
terrible
no.
at this.
You're terrible. I'm trying to wrap it up and move on, and you're just bouncing.
You've
all
done a
over the
great
place.
job, Jeff.
Point being, we're recording today. We're recording today on the anniversary of D-Day. We do want to draw attention to that act where soldiers of many countries, led by the American forces, obviously breached Fortress Europe and began the downfall of Hitler. There was some true anti-fascism going on that day, and it was a large sacrifice. I was just looking at the numbers, and almost twice as many Allied troops were lost in that invasion as were Axis troops.
Yeah.
So, like, just think of that, a 2-to-1 loss, and it was still a victory. Like, the price that had to be paid to do it. And so a sobering thought, also a moment of true greatness for, I don't know, the forces of good might be a little bit of stretch if you understand things from the spiritual perspective, but at least from the fallen human political perspective, the forces of good overcoming the forces of evil. And now it seems like we've been through a lot of downtime since then, but we're starting to see maybe some resurgence of, at least again, political and economic greatness as far as the space race is concerned.
Right. Thank you,
Yes.
Elon Musk and SpaceX.
Yes, it's so cool.
It's so weird.
It's so cool. Did you see the dinosaur?
Yeah, the floating dinosaurs.
Yes, there was the dinosaur.
It was
in there.
It was their zero gravity detection device.
I like it. I like it a lot.
So
that's probably about the best thing that I saw. Besides the second stage landing itself.
Which I didn't see because my feed cut out.
That is what's so amazing.
That is ridiculous. Oh my goodness.
I did not see it on Saturday. I've seen it before on some of the tests.
Oh yeah.
And
dude,
it is just it's just
so
amazing.
Cool. It's so cool. So
it's
they have
incredible.
this pad. So the rocket had 2 stages or 3. I don't know. I'm not sure. I know it was at least
the rocket has
2 stages.
2 stages.
2 stages, right?
2 stages.
Okay. So you have the stage that is basically the rocket and the fuel. Then you have the stage that is the people and the compartment that they're in to get up to the space station. Okay. So you have these 2 different things. So the rocket section detaches at however many thousand feet in the air. And instead of it being like the old space shuttles where they would just basically jettison the rockets and the fuel tank, and then they would just either float down to Earth or they would just land in the ocean and then they would eventually recover it. This stage lands upright, just like a Bugs Bunny cartoon, lands upright on a platform in the middle of the ocean. It is incredibly cool.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean,
but the technology that has come is amazing, and I have to say, like, I'm glad that we stopped the shuttle missions and things, because this is the steps that needed to happen to move NASA forward and to move space flight forward. So that's the only reason I'm happy about that.
We're showing the landing on
and
we're showing the landing on the YouTube feed right now.
It's so cool.
It's so cool. It's been frustrating and obviously feeds the conspiracies that we haven't been able to reach the moon since the kind of the space shuttle era began. And if you think about it, so essentially in the Apollo missions, 0 of the Apollo spacecraft was reusable. Like by the time they came back to Earth in the little capsule, none of it was reusable.
All of it
so the space shuttle was a step forward in that the main the solid boosters I don't think were reusable. They came back to Earth, right? I don't know if they were reusable or not.
The tank,
and the liquid, and I don't know about the liquid tank. Maybe the liquid tank was reusable if they recovered it. But like those parts might not have been reusable. Space shuttle,
boosters are reusable.
I thought
the foam.
I think it was like
the hard boosters,
thing.
but the
hard
orange
boosters
tank
the
was
orange
not.
tank is not.
Okay,
to my knowledge.
there you go.
Okay, but then obviously the shuttle
out.
itself is reusable,
right?
So
they had
they would do
panels
that.
They could switch out on the shuttles.
Yeah, and so that was obviously a huge step forward. But for whatever reason that I still don't fully understand, because I'm not fully versed in all this kind of stuff, it was range limited, and they couldn't reach the moon in the shuttle.
Right.
And so now we're back to a multi-stage rocket that is much more, I assume, cost effective because it's reusable.
Yes.
And if I'm reading this correctly, so it says on Wednesday, June 3rd, SpaceX launched its 8th Starlink mission. This Falcon 9's first stage previously supported the Telstar 18 Advantage mission in 2018, the Iridium 8 mission in January 2019, 2 separate Starlink missions in May 19 and January 2020. So this first stage has been used 1, 2, what is that, 4 other times? This was the 5th time it's been reused, according to this that I'm reading on SpaceX.
So they reuse that booster.
That's the way this is reading. Falcon 9's first stage previously supported these missions, unless they're just saying this similar type.
Maybe
because the whole point is it's reusable.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I'm trying to. They're not very clear on their website, but I'm on SpaceX's actual.
Even if they make it, even if they do, because I think last week we were claiming that it was reusable, but they only used it for manned flight missions once, but they would use it for different other things, multiple times, just so you don't endanger men. Is what I think we were originally saying. So maybe or maybe not. But even if it is only used once for a manned flight mission, if you can use it multiple times and just work
For
them down
payloads
the
and
chain
stuff?
for payloads, for satellites, for whatever else you need to use it for.
Mhm.
And plus, if I'm not incorrect, I think it costs less than the space shuttle did too.
Hey, did you know that you
I'll have to look
can
up those
sign
numbers
up
and
for a
see.
small sat rideshare program and dedicate rideshare missions for as low as $1 million each?
Oh,
You can
nice.
sign up to
Nice.
put payloads on SpaceX rockets. Like it's essentially like Uber for space
pretty cool.
payloads.
That's pretty cool.
So $1 million.
That's pretty cool.
Let's put our own
See,
satellite in
this is-
space, Mathis.
This
The
is
Front Porch
why.
Show.
This is
Okay.
also the thing of
Right
this
after
is
you.
Right
why
next to
it
the rods of
needed
God that are hovering over your house.
But
Okay.
think about it. This is why they needed to take this out of the government's hands and put this in the hands of just the
Oh, you
everyday
evil capitalist.
business and let them do it. Because think about how long it took them to come up with.
It's like you read Atlas Shrugged or something.
I watched the movies. The third one's terrible.
Yeah, well, there's different actors in each one, so you spend half the movie trying to figure out
You know,
what's going
that
on.
frustrates me so much.
I wanted,
Oh, man,
I
their
wanted
budget
that to be so
plummeted.
good, and they could, like,
The first movie
for
was
for the free
okay.
market and capitalists, it just really
It
tanked.
plummeted.
Sorry, libertarians, but your free market couldn't pull that one off.
That one
Here
really
comes
makes me
Mathis
sad.
with the it's not
No,
a truly free market,
It's not.
and they got
It's
weeded
not.
out by
You
Hollywood.
know that. You
and
know that.
Here he comes. Here he comes.
You
Anyway,
know that.
But this was something where it's, you know what, they took it and they put it back out of the government's hands. They took it away. They fought for the contract. They're in with Boeing, correct? Is it correct?
I
think
forget.
Who's
He gets
that?
pretty
Who's
tangled
that?
with all
I
those
think
different things.
SpaceX. I think
SpaceX.
Oh,
SpaceX
they're
is
not. They're not tied up with Boeing. Boeing
you
is doing their own
sure?
thing.
Oh, okay.
Boeing's doing their own
Anyway,
thing,
in this
and
project,
Blue
though?
Origin are doing their own thing. Yes.
But anyway,
No,
you
no.
have this is why this is going to be great. And if they continue
Competition,
with it,
man.
they're gonna make space great again.
Wow.
There it is.
Wow.
There
Wow.
it is. Didn't he just get in trouble? Didn't he just pull down some ad where he said that because somebody at
Oh, I don't
NASA
know.
said
Did
he
he?
was using it as propaganda or something? I thought I saw
Wow.
that.
Brother.
Yeah, the next flag planted on the
Yeah.
moon will not be an American flag. It'll be a red flag that says "Make space great again."
No, it's not. It's gonna be a giant flag with a T on it.
My goodness. No. No.
Oh
No. No.
man.
And then they're gonna be driving around one of the new Tesla cars. That's
You can
the
now
entire
buy
thing.
Trump moon rocks,
So we had another. Oh man.
gold-plated moon rocks. For
always
for
gonna
a
have,
small
like-
donation of $1,000 to his campaign, you can buy moon rocks.
And it's gonna have like this little plastic hairdo, Trump hairdo on top of it.
Oh no! Oh no!
It'd be
no.
great.
I feel disturbed now.
You are.
Well,
don't wanna
I
tell
know,
you.
I know, that's true. Guys, Elon Musk is no man to feign from controversy. Obviously, we know his weed exploits on the Joe Rogan show. We also know his
Feign from controversy.
Is-
I don't know
is-
if that's the wording you were looking for, but I'll roll with it.
okay, is no man to shy away from controversy. Is that better?
Maybe
Ooh,
he
there
has.
we go.
To feign away
Yeah.
from
Maybe
controversy.
he has feign with controversy.
Maybe
Feign
maybe.
means like fake, doesn't it?
No. I'm not. I'm saying fame
Fame
is what I
fame.
said.
Okay, maybe. Either
Not
way,
feign.
either way.
Mathis is saying feign.
Coining new phrases
You
here
keep
on the
going.
Front Porch
I'll
Show.
Google
Okay.
words just to
Just roll.
pick. Just to
Just
pick
roll
on
with
you.
it. He's done a whole lot of controversial things. He also has suggested that we eventually will be living in digital form. And one of you guys, I assume it was Ozzy, seeing as how Jeff does not volunteer any articles to the show.
I'm awesome. I don't know. Oh, wait.
Ozzy volunteered this article. Could
Did
we
I?
live? Could we really live forever in digital form?
I don't think that was me.
Oh,
I
someone.
don't think that's me either. Although I've
Where
watched
is
some
this?
interesting like
Hold
Netflix
on.
shows about
I
stuff
gotta-
like
It's
that.
interesting because it doesn't say who sent it to the show.
This is not me.
So this wasn't me either.
Maybe it was Tombstone.
Let me see. Was it
I
this
don't think
week?
this-
Because
I
I
don't
didn't
think
send it
this
to the
was me.
show.
I'm looking
Maybe it
at.
was me. I'm not sure.
No, I added it. What the heck? Okay, I added it. Never mind, guys. Never
what you
mind.
don't know is
We're
that
gonna
Mathis
start-
already is a downloaded copy
We're-
of himself, and he didn't
we're gonna
remember
start-
doing it.
with obvious glitches
We're
there.
gonna start calling you Joe Biden.
Yes.
Defrag that hard drive. So this
we
was
can
an
defeat
interesting.
Joe Biden together.
Yes, it's interesting. What?
What's going on?
Oh, I was breathing like Joe.
Oh, I think he was trying to
sorry.
pull Joe Biden, but it
Sorry,
just didn't.
sorry.
I thought his computer crashed or his programming from his download like freaked out or
did
something
too.
like
No,
that.
we're good.
Like,
We're
well,
good.
All right.
The language server didn't make it through.
So, if you could, would you upload yourself to the cloud?
I mean, eventually I'm gonna upload myself to the cloud, but it's
Not the same
not
cloud.
gonna be. It's not gonna be voluntary.
Not the same. Oh, oh, I see. I see where
Yes.
you went there.
I would not, because I don't believe in the Matrix.
Yeah, I mean, how?
I
weird-
think it
Actually,
just-
weird
I
is
don't
that?
know.
It comes.
All right, if we're going with the Matrix solution, I would stay in the Matrix, and I would have just made the deal outside of the Matrix to go back,
Blue pill.
to eat steak, to have cigars, to live as what was it? I want money.
Ignorance
but I
is
don't really,
bliss.
but I don't really want fame, and ignorance is bliss.
Ignorance is
That's
bliss.
my thought.
I kind of agree with you. I kind of agree with you.
I mean,
But then again,
things get bad enough,
then
it does seem like a good option.
again, I want to see how far down the rabbit hole goes.
In the world as it stands now.
Oh,
I
I'm
mean,
staying in. I'm going.
staying here. Yeah,
yeah,
I would
yeah.
not go.
I'm going
in.
back into the
Unless-
Matrix.
Unless these protests and everything go haywire, and this is the beginning of the Matrix, it's possible. But I think
so. What
as
do you
it
think?
stands,
Because I
would
think
be fine with where I'm at.
so. I think obviously for those that have faith and there's an understanding of the soul, the human soul, this whole I get that like what's going on in our brains can be reduced to like electrons moving, and that in theory, a copy of that in a computer programmer that can essentially be made in theory.
But is that
Okay.
you?
No,
Obviously,
no.
when you
The thing
believe,
is-
but when you believe in the human soul and stuff, like
The
that's
thing is,
that's the thing I always think of in my
the-
perspective when I watch sci-fi movies that go along this theory is that when like that computer generated image of your brain gets booted back up, you supposedly have all your memories and act like normal and whatever, and it's like obviously this comes down to where do you believe the person resides, who is
All right.
the
So,
person, you know,
going along
the physical
with
or the
this,
spiritual.
I don't know if this covers it in this article, because I didn't read the article. Let's just be honest. I'm looking at the crazy pictures. I do remember watching a thing, and I don't remember if we talked about this or not. Watching a news interview about how that they are taking all of this information, and they are essentially implanting information and digitizing it into a computer and making a copy of a person. Okay, so by information, I'm talking about shared things that were on Facebook, shared memories, recorded things, not like
Yes.
they're downloading a person.
Just take
But
take all the
the
information
premise-
about them
the
that they put out there
premise
about
is-
themselves, and
the premise is, if you take the information, so that all of the information that you put out on social media, in photographs, in video,
it's not
in-
actually the person.
in preferences that you like or do not like, that you're going to get the essence of that person in digital form. Now take that to the nth degree
But-
and have a person doing that while they're still alive purposefully.
Hmm.
What's the
The
difference
thing is,
between
you're gonna get-
no, but what's the difference between downloading a person's brain and them physically downloading themselves through social media and through descriptions of themselves and
Here-
movie preferences and
Here's the
everything
difference.
else?
Here's
I'm a
Here's the
lot
difference.
cooler on social
how
media.
many people? How many people do you know? Like the social media them is not them.
I'm just saying, guys. I'm a
even
lot.
if they're just more even
Right.
even from
but-
our standpoint, where I think we try to be pretty real on social media, but like we also just don't, because of the world of social media, we don't have the discussions that we have in private on social media.
Yeah.
No.
So the digital information you put out for the rest of the world to see isn't you.
But how far off would it be?
Man.
Well, let's download one actual copy of you and make a Facebook copy of you, and then put them against each other and see.
They are experimenting.
2 U's enter, 1 U leaves.
They are experimenting with this type of thing, and I just find this absolutely fascinating that they
Creepy.
can even. It is totally creepy, but it's very fascinating.
You
in essence could do something like that.
So I've been busy enough lately, believe it or not, that I actually don't pay attention to a lot of the articles either. I like to just react to them raw on the show. I'm just looking at this article now, Mathis. And so you're talking about this where, like, could we download people in digital form? I thought this was also a theory behind it. In 2016, okay, but now in February of 2020, so in 2016, this young Japanese girl, or no, South Korean girl, passed away. And in February of this year, it says experts constructed a version of her child using motion capture technology for a documentary. Wearing a VR headset and haptic gloves, Jang was able to walk, talk, and play with this digital version of her daughter.
Yeah.
They just pulled off this weird. Now, I assume what this article is probably playing on the readers with is that they created like a physical looking version of her daughter, but they obviously didn't like download her daughter's mind. So they probably took some information and some inputs like Ozzy's talking about.
The argument is this is the first step to that.
And they created a thing that looks like her and then put in some sentences she would say. And then, but I just think
so.
that's
It's like the.
Why would you want to do that to yourself?
It's like the less awesome version of Barf.
Wait, what?
The binary augmented retro framing from Marvel.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Tony Stark.
Yes. Yes.
Come on.
Barf.
Oh, my goodness.
I was like, wait, what?
Nice.
I've dealt with that this week. I don't want to deal
That
with
was supposed to be a lot funnier.
It was, but I went to
I
went to kids throwing up. So
yeah, I missed it.
Yeah, sorry,
I missed
man.
it.
Sorry.
That one didn't stick with me. Sorry.
Yeah, my thing on this is I don't think it's possible to actually retain the person. I think once you're dead, you're dead.
Obviously.
No. But that's your. Okay, here we go. Ready?
Yeah, no.
That's your opinion. That's your opinion, man.
I know.
Because you believe that a person is more than just a body.
Right.
But if you believe that a person is just a body, and that their mind is just a computer system in
electrons.
Yeah.
Right. Electrons. Then why not?
So
if you could figure out how to hook it up and download the terabytes upon terabytes or whatever worth of information, you could theoretically build something that's close.
For most people, it's probably like kilobytes of information, if we're being honest.
Right.
I doubt there's terabytes going on in most people's heads, especially on this show.
But, they should start with those people because they'll be able to gauge it better and
it's just
the
quick. Like
faster.
you can just throw that sucker on a 3.5-inch floppy. You don't even have to worry about a flash drive.
Billy Bob.
Yes.
No, but you're right. I'm gonna circle back a little bit, Mathis. We've had discussions about science, even in relation to COVID, and I've made comments like worldview. Your foundational worldview does affect your science, and in different levels of science, in different ways. I understand. But that's exactly what Ozzy's alluding to here is depending on your foundational worldview is whether you believe this is some capable or awesome scientific breakthrough or where you're like, this is weird stuff that's never really going to.
So I'd argue that what Ozzy describes is entirely possible. But the question is it the actual person or not? I would say no.
No.
Correct. That's what I'm saying too. I think that you can download a bunch of information and force a robot to act and pick likes just like your buddy did in real life, but you never it's not the
robot.
person.
Okay.
We're going for robot.
Okay, robot.
This AI stuff is
sorry.
I want a physical thing.
I'm so sorry. Yeah.
That's right. We could give him a cord so he can't pull out of the wall and attack.
I find it
We'll make him a
so
plug-in
weird.
model.
I find it so weird. Whole visiting with your passed away child type thing. That's just
It sounds.
that's just
bizarre.
weird.
So I think it's. I'm no psychologist, but I don't think that that's good.
But I play
for
one on the
people. Like,
radio.
I'm not
I
a
think
shrink,
that as
but I play
humans,
one on.
that's right. But I play one on the radio. I think humans are made to go through grief. Like, I think it's part of life. Obviously, our beliefs dictate that things started out perfect and were fallen due to choices of human beings, and now we live in this fallen world until it is restored. But I think that that's all part of the greater plan, that we're supposed to experience grief, and we're supposed to seek out the appropriate avenues of comfort for that in both our fellow human beings and in Christ and in Scripture, and it's all part of the experience we're supposed to experience. And then two things: either trying to avoid grief by interacting with these weird digital recreations of close members to us, or by continually just existing in the grief and not move. Because for me, if it's somebody that I've lost and I know it's just a digital version for them, it's almost not a relief of the grief, but it's almost wallowing in the grief to me, to just continually
Okay.
be interacting with this like unsatisfying digital recreation of your loved one.
The question is, though, with going off of that statement, what's the difference between that and watching videos of them?
Correct.
Do you know what I mean?
You have a legitimate question there, and I think it comes down to how much you're interacting with it, and are you just reliving some memories versus like just every day.
Yeah.
The video's always playing. You can wallow in anything. You can wallow in a still photo. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like this type of technology would
not help.
Augment what I don't know. Now I can't think of the word. It would lend itself toward wallowing.
Right. Yeah.
Mathis sounded like he was going to give some input on that, and then he just.
Well, no. I yeah. I mean,
it exceeded his programming.
The whole thing, yes. The whole thing is just very.
He was not programmed to respond to that.
The whole thing is very.
And let's be honest, the real Mathis probably wasn't programmed to respond to that.
Probably not.
Which is why it's perfect. The technology is
wait. And now we know. Now we know how he saw the wall speech, and he's still here with us. He's been downloading copies of himself.
Red pill or blue pill, boys. Red pill or blue pill.
It's still real to me, damn it!
Thank you, Ozzy. Don't laugh so hard.
It's true.
Oh, guys.
That was what you were coming up with?
Well, that's all I had for right now.
That was all we waited for that whole time.
Shut up, Karen.
This was like 10 minutes of us sitting around going, are we going to get this started or not?
Yes. We thought this was going to be the epic Front Porch Show trivia intro.
I mean,
and now you haven't even said welcome to another segment of Front Porch Show trivia.
We're going to be doing trivia.
Where,
I don't.
Where the points are made up and the questions are so old, nobody knows them.
Yep.
Here, what's
we
this
tried
one?
to get Sean Connery on, but he's a little controversial at this moment.
No. I have a couple
How
little.
old is Sean Connery? He's like ancient.
Yeah. How old is he? Didn't we?
He's got to be in his.
That's the first trivia
80s.
question. Ozzy gets it wrong. Point for Jeff.
My guess would be 80. My guess would be 85
I don't
years
have a
old.
guess.
I'm going 91. He is
over
89.
Under on Ozzy's 85. I'm going to go over. Oh, you said it before.
Sorry, buddy. Sorry. 89 years old. So you see, Clint Eastwood is saying that he's got still 1 or 2 more movies he could do.
Yes, so does Arnold Schwarzenegger. And
Is he gonna like play a
you know what?
corpse? Like, man,
No. I bet you Clint Eastwood is going to be in the next Expendables.
Great.
it's gonna be called Dependables, and they're all gonna be in a nursing home together.
How did you guys like Space Cowboys?
Ozzy appreciated
I
it.
love that movie.
That was a good movie.
Like, I love that
Space
movie.
Cowboys.
You got Sean Connery. You got
Yes.
Robert
Agent K.
Yeah. Oh, what is his name?
Yeah.
Why am I having these issues today?
Tommy Lee Jones.
Yes.
Tommy Lee Jones. Thank you.
You've also
because we're approaching that age. I think.
we really are.
and you haven't been downloaded correctly.
Donald Sutherland and James Garner. I mean, can it be a better cast? Did you know that Clint Eastwood directed that movie? I had no idea.
Yes.
I had no idea.
No.
Oh, good for you,
Random trivia, but I think I knew that.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Keel hauling.
It was just a great movie. I loved it. Keel hauling. Speaking of random trivia, gentlemen, it is time again.
It's Gulliver's Travels.
So
anything with literature, it's Gulliver's Travels.
So which one of you gentlemen are going to go first?
That's what I've learned. Yes.
It's been a while since we've done this.
I know.
I don't care.
Ozzy, therefore you go first.
Okay.
Which category would you like? Remember, we have categories of geography, entertainment, history.
I would like sports and leisure.
Sports and leisure. Okay.
5 points.
All right.
It's geography, entertainment, history, sports and leisure, science and nature.
Are we doing? We're just doing
arts and literature and sports
and literature.
Arts and literature, sports and leisure. Yep.
I would like what
and science and nature, or just science, or what's it called?
It's just science and nature. Yep.
Science.
Yep. Science and nature. So we have your first question, which is in sports and leisure. This comes from the leisure category. How many dice are used in Clue?
Sounds like a sport to me.
Clue is not a sport.
It's 2, isn't it? Isn't it 2 die?
Is that your answer? 2?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No.
You
are incorrect.
Dude, it has been. I don't think I played Clue
You are incorrect.
honestly in probably 20 years.
Yeah. Neither have I. My boys were messing around with it the other
it's-
day, running around with the little gun.
It's
Then I
not 2.
think it's just 1.
That's
If it's
correct.
not
It
2,
is
then
1.
I think it's
Is
just
it?
1.
It's 1. Yeah, it is 1.
Yeah.
Jeff, point for you. Which category would you like as your steal?
Oh, that was my steal.
Yeah,
This is
you
not my
just-
turn.
Oh, as your turn. Sorry.
Just he didn't download right. Just
No, it's
glitch, boot error.
wall.
Control delete. Let's go history, I guess.
history.
So I can make a fool of myself.
Who tried to run China from Nanking? You should know this one.
I probably should, and I'm going to be ashamed of myself.
Who
when I
tried to
don't.
run
From
China
Nan-
from Nanking?
All I have is Tom Cruise. That's all I can think of, and that was Japan.
That was Japan.
But they never mind. I'm not going to
sorry.
say anything.
I'm so sorry.
Chiang Kai-shek.
That is correct.
Dang.
Yeah.
I think he's the only one. I think he's the only one that I would have known of that was even remotely Chinese.
That was impressive.
As a leader.
Yes, I was leaning that way, but I was not sure.
Ozzy, it is your turn.
Nice.
Which category would you like?
Let's do literature. Why not? Gulliver's Travels.
This is arts and literature. Now remember, this is arts and literature, so it's not just literature. Because this is from the art. This is from the art category.
Still Gulliver's
How
Travels.
does
This is right
the
up Ozzy's alley.
subject? How is the subject about to kill herself in Rembrandt's 1866 painting, Lucretia?
How is she about to kill herself?
How is she about to kill herself?
She's going to stab herself in the heart.
That is correct. That is correct. Good job. Wow.
Did you know that, or did you guess it?
That was just a wild guess, to be honest with you.
Well, it certainly wasn't going to be.
I was gonna guess. I was gonna guess impale herself or stab herself.
It certainly wasn't going to be chop off her ear. Anyways, continue. That was the other guy.
What was that in reference to?
The artist who chopped off his ear and mailed it to his girlfriend?
You don't know who that is, do you?
It's Van Gogh.
Oh.
I do know who it is.
Nope, that one. I wouldn't have got that one.
Jeff, it is now your turn.
I got Chiang Kai-shek.
You're ahead 2-1.
Let's go. Geography.
We're going with geography. What
Question
became the U.S.'s top farming state in 1943? Not 1944, but 1943.
Farming state.
Top farming state.
You know what they farmed?
Do I get a region that it's in or no?
No.
I just got to pick.
Yeah, well, your region is the U.S.
40.
Your region is the U.S.
48 or so, because there weren't 50 states in 43.
Exactly. So it certainly wasn't Alaska and Hawaii.
So...
That narrows it down.
Yes, awesome, perfect.
Those two are so agricultural anyway, you know.
Farming salmon. And coffee. They farm coffee.
Iowa.
In Hawaii. Iowa is incorrect. Ozzy, it is now your turn to steal.
Read it one more time.
What became the U.S.'s top farming state in 1943?
Jersey.
Yeah, that is incorrect.
I don't know.
It's basically the Jersey of the West. California.
Oh,
California. I almost went with California. To be honest, like West Coast.
You weren't born yet. Yeah.
But I didn't think it was that obvious. So.
Yeah, that's when California overtook the rest of the states as far as farming.
I would have guessed Midwest.
Or not obvious, but like, yeah, I was like, my gut was like, with it being a trivia question, it's gonna be like California something. Yeah. But I'm like, nah, it's one of the Midwestern states. It's just one of the Midwestern states.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I didn't have any other good guesses. New Jersey. What is left?
We have entertainment and we have science and nature.
Entertainment.
What dog was dubbed the mortgage lifter? What dog was dubbed the mortgage lifter?
The Labrador.
That is incorrect.
So, unfortunately, he answered first. Is this a breed of dog or a like famous dog? Like a name of a dog, like a movie dog.
I can't give you that information. The question says what dog.
I'll let Ozzy take a second.
I still
guess
got nothing.
if you give us that information.
I still got nothing.
Fine. You won't give us the information?
No,
I'll say Beethoven.
Incorrect. That's a good guess.
It was Rin Tin Tin.
That's the mortgage insurance lifter. Rin Tin Tin?
Guys, remember, this is the 1984 Genus 2 edition.
That's why I knew it wasn't Beethoven. Beethoven was the 90s, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. I didn't even calculate that.
My guess would have been Lassie.
I don't think I've ever even watched Rin Tin Tin.
My guess would have been Lassie.
I get the reference. Rin Tin.
I still don't understand the reference with the mortgage lifter.
Yeah,
I'm still lost on that though.
I'm googling it.
Let's see. He was known around the Warner Brothers lot as the mortgage lifter.
Oh my gosh, who's gonna know that?
Oh, is it because like he finally started making them money?
I think it was. He was. Yes.
Oh,
each of these films was very popular and was making a profit for Warner Brothers, and so it was called the mortgage lifter because he was making them money.
Wow.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah. All right, so I guess I guess
Call
I get
in and let
science
us
and
know
nature.
if you knew that, because I don't.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
if you knew
That's
that,
ridiculous.
yeah, anybody,
obscure.
please.
That's from-
please
That's not
let us
even
know if you
like
knew that one.
yeah,
That's from the 1930s, guys.
that's not even in a movie that he's that. That's just like random piece of information
Yeah,
that you
yeah.
could get as you toured the downtown lot of MGM or whatever.
Don't worry,
you
in the
know?
1950s,
yeah. Like-
right? Like
they kept raising dogs and naming them like Rin Tin Tin Jr., Rin Tin Tin the Third, Rin Tin Tin the Fourth, and just
they
kept
did that with-
making movies
they did that in the 90s too.
with
Well,
Beethoven.
Yeah.
Beethoven the third.
That's
second,
hilarious.
You think
third,
those?
fourth.
You
Those
think,
weren't the same
you
dog.
think they used the
okay,
same dog
you
the
wanna
whole time?
You want to talk about ridiculousness?
Wishbone wasn't
So
the same
I was
dog the whole
looking-
time.
I was looking
But he had the
at-
same spot in his eye.
All right, I was watching ESPN Plus last night, right?
How are you doing? Like, are they back in studio yet?
What
No,
were you
no, they're not.
watching? Like
I was
ping pong
watching-
championships from
No,
2003?
I was watching
ESPN
documentaries.
Ocho.
I was watching documentaries, the 30 for 30s. Anyway,
Oh, okay.
but on ESPN Plus, they have a section that is all of ESPN. So you have ESPN 1, 2, 3, and Classic or whatever, and you can't watch any of those because I'm too cheap.
And Ocho.
On ESPN, the main ESPN station, just regular
Okay.
ESPN. Do you know what was showing last night?
No.
Airbud
All dogs
2.
go to heaven 3.
Hey, that is a basketball movie.
Airbud on ESPN.
That's ridiculous.
Like, my goodness, are we that desperate for entertainment that
couldn't
you have
show-
to show a 90s
Tomorrow
Disney
night,
kids
Space
movie?
Jam.
Yeah, right. Space Jam would have been a better option. They could have showed Facing the
like,
Giants.
dude,
They could have shown.
Who would have ever guessed that in 2000?
Remember the Titans?
Oh, right.
They're probably out of all
Who'd
of
How
it.
ever
relevant would that have been for this time? It would have been great.
That is a great movie.
Oh,
In
I love it.
2020, who would have ever guessed that the main showing on a Friday evening on ESPN would be Airbud?
Guys,
From
2020.
the 1990s.
2020.
That's
Does anything else need to be
ridiculous.
said?
That's ridiculous.
I'm telling you, we need to start like a betting pool about what
By the
else is
way-
going to happen this year.
By the way, y'all need to put back King Tut's tomb or sarcophagus or whatever it is. Don't even mess with that.
And
Why, guys?
and
Why do they
seal up
touch
the
it?
cave,
There's something, man.
Like,
Don't-
let's
Yeah,
just
just
or-
leave it. Let
or
it go. Let it go.
go, or just rip off the Band-Aid, or just rip off the Band-Aid and get it all over with.
I do not need.
That's
no,
the other
no,
philosophy
no, no,
here.
no.
Why
Listen,
drag this? I don't want to drag this out for the entire decade. Let's
I
just
don't need
get it over with
I don't need the Mummy
in the
and
first
Rock
year. If
coming
you
back
even
as
agree this is the
Scorpion
first year of the
King.
decade.
Oh.
I don't need the
Ooh.
Rock coming back as Scorpion King with his horrible CGI face because he's been downloaded and ruining the earth. All right, y'all can have the plague.
Hey.
Y'all can have everything else. Just take it,
But
store it in
we
one of the
can
rockets,
but we can
shoot it
fight
into
the
space.
Scorpion King straight up.
What was that?
I mean, we can't you can't shoot the pandemic. So like, bring on the Scorpion King.
I'm willing to take that bet. Let's shoot the pandemic.
My goodness. Jeff,
You can't shoot coronavirus. You can shoot the Scorpion King.
Jeff, you are ahead 2-1 at this point.
And it's science and nature.
science and nature
Which
for the final
everyone
question.
forgot we were playing a game because we were
I know. Just bantering.
The answer is the Scorpion King.
The question is, what color do most people answer when asked to name a color quickly? Now remember, if you get this question wrong, it goes to Ozzy, and Ozzy has the option to win. Well, to tie it.
No, he has action to
Careful.
tie.
You may have a group of people come after
So
you. if
so
you
really
choose
you
the
should just
wrong
ask me the question, name a color quickly, and then I gotta say a color. Red.
That is correct. That is correct.
Really?
That is
That's what's
correct.
funny is that when you said that, it's the first color that popped into my
Yeah.
head.
Yeah.
That's
It-
So
So it's funny because
That's
that's the
why I
first
went
color
with
that
it.
popped into my head too.
Yep.
I was like, and then I was like blue because I have to be contrary.
is
to
it
what
you,
my mind
Ozzy?
thought.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
I would have gone with red.
That's crazy.
interesting. So now
Why is that?
So now we need a poll. Name a color quickly. Listeners, name a color quickly. When you hear this,
doesn't
comment
count.
on the Facebook
We just
page.
told them.
What color did you see? No, but I want to hear what came to their mind.
Oh, okay, good point.
Of course,
good
we
point.
also have them biased. I want to know, like, if they can be honest, when you hear the phrase "name a color quickly," what comes into your mind?
Well, if
Not
Facebook,
what's the answer to
if
that
Facebook
question.
allowed
Just-
multi polls
no.
anymore, we could do
They don't?
that, but they
They
don't.
don't do that anymore?
They don't allow more than two
just put
options.
on-
What?
Just put on the poll. Just put on the thing. Name a
They don't
color
allow
quickly.
add your own option. I've seen it.
Nope, not
I've seen
anymore.
it. Yeah, that's true. You could just say you could just say name a color
Yeah,
quickly,
just
comment below. Name a
Yeah.
color
Yep.
quickly, comment below,
Yeah,
and then
the
we'll
first
just
color
sift
that
through it.
comes to your mind, name it below.
Okay, I'm doing it right now as we speak, guys. I'm doing
I
it
like
right
it.
now.
I
We're gonna
like
get
it
into like some kind
because
of
that way
racial
we can
tension
get a
now
weekend
because
of
this.
data before. Yeah. Oh, gosh.
That's where this is gonna go. It's gonna be like something horrible.
Never
Of
mind.
all the weeks.
Never
to do
mind.
That is a bad idea.
Eject,
this week.
eject. You're right. You're right. I think we're realizing that this might be the bad time.
This may be a bad time to put that
Oh,
on.
is it?
I don't know. It seems like it.
I don't know. I don't know.
Depends on how
it's
people
one of those
take
things
it.
that either can be completely harmless or we could
Yeah.
completely get fried over it. It's one or the other. I like the idea of having a weekend to see what people's responses are before they realize that we're playing a game. So maybe you could say
That's a good one.
you could say
So I said on here, name the first color that comes to mind. This is a survey for Monday's episode.
yeah, just say
All right. I can
on
accept
Monday's
that.
episode we'll find out. Yeah, or hint this has to do with
Now
Monday's
remember
trivia or-
remember
yeah, like you
remember
said.
that remember that
This
this
is
is
1980.
1984 Genus 2 edition Trivia Pursuit.
Because
It may have
So
changed.
color could have
Is that-
changed.
Because that completely makes
Modern
a
people
difference,
may
yeah.
say green.
Oh,
money,
that's interesting.
money.
Let's
Interesting.
download and spool up King Tut and see what his answer is.
No.
No. This seems like such a bad idea,
This
guys.
is a terrible idea.
Leave him in his
I want to
tomb.
know what the first color that comes to his mind is.
We
Do you
need to
guys remember?
It's worth the risk. It's worth the risk. I
No,
need to
it's
know.
not.
Do you guys
No, it's
remember Steve Martin's King Tut song?
No.
Oh, Saturday Night Live.
No.
Oh, anyway, okay, never mind.
Is
It-
that going to?
It might not be allowed anymore. Like the song might be banned. Now. I don't like it might be insensitive or something. I don't know. It's true.
I wanted to do at the end, I wanted to do like products liability, as in, you know, if that camera explodes all over that guy, we'd sue the camera company and their insurance company, you see.
How did Yale out-rebound Baylor? You go up and grab the ball off the rim when it comes off, and then you grab it with two hands, and you come down with it, and that's considered a rebound. So they got more of those than we did.
There's a t-shirt of a headhunter a guy brought me from Borneo, which was kind of nice of him. He couldn't get me a shrunken head, so I got a t-shirt.
Bet you can now.
And the T-shirt said,
Alright.
said, my buddy went to Borneo and all I got was a stupid T-shirt.
Because he couldn't give me a shrunken head.
We really need to make that shirt.
We're horribly insensitive. It's so bad.
Yes.
Oh,
Does
my
the shrunken
goodness.
head have more or less data to download?
Ooh.
Ooh. That's the
Can you
question.
download the data from a shrunken head?
Could you download the data from
It's kind of dried
Tuts?
out.
Okay, this is getting weird.
Is his head shrunken from being mummified?
Ooh.
And most
Interesting.
importantly, what
No,
is the
it's more
first
like-
color that will come to his mind?
It's more like how. Yes. It's more like a California raisin.
I mean,
Which is a shrunken grape.
I'm just saying.
ooh, we've got answers coming in on these colors already, guys.
Holy.
Purple.
Oh yeah, what are we getting? What are we getting?
We have a purple and we have a red.
Oh, there we go. One red. All right.
Okay.
Red's winning. We're just gonna go
And
with
there's
winning.
red.
Go
There's
with
red
two.
in purple. if
I
we
know.
just
That's
wanna
what
go
I'm
with
saying.
that.
That's what I'm saying.
It's true. It's true.
I'm fascinated by the results so
true.
far.
Now, all right, we need to give some public service announcements here.
We do.
So first public service announcement for 2020. Well, not first one for the show maybe is you cannot nuke hurricanes.
Well, you can, but Representative Sylvia Garcia, Democrat in Texas, has introduced legislation to forbid President Trump from dropping nuclear bombs into hurricanes to disrupt their paths and to stop them from hitting the U.S.
Again, not that I
This is hard-hitting Congress at work.
I don't have a horse in this race, but I think that it's a bad idea to nuke hurricanes just because it's 2020. Now was not the time to start nuking hurricanes.
I think it's a bad idea to nuke hurricanes. I also don't think that this legislation is in any way necessary.
Nobody cares about your legislation.
So
just the hurricane, don't nuke the hurricane for the very reason you do not want to piss off Godzilla. All right.
Well, no. Here's the thing.
Piss off Godzilla. All of a sudden, Japan is going to be gone. So just be ready, Japan.
Little lizard iguana gets picked up by the hurricane.
Right.
We nuke it. Radiation. Bam. Hurricane ends, and there's just this Godzilla standing there.
No. Hold on. I take back my statement. I'm sorry. I take it back. You're wrong about the iguana because the iguana would have to be overland. They're not going to nuke it overland. They're going to nuke it over the ocean, which means that we're going to wind up with a freaking Sharknado.
Sharknado. There it is.
Sharks with wings.
But it might be sharks with legs, too.
Just not what we want, people. This is not the year.
This is bad options.
Stop
bad
it.
options.
What if it's a sea turtle in the hurricane, it gets nuked, and then it grows bigger than the current sea turtle we're on the back of, and now they duke it out to be who is the world carrier?
Then we're going to have to nuke a giant straw to get rid of one.
We're gonna
we don't have a six pack. We don't have a six pack ring big enough. We don't have a 6-pack ring big enough to defend ourselves against that.
You just have to squeeze the end of the straw, Ozzy, so it can't breathe.
Oh, terrible! And now PETA. Now we're on PETA's crap list. Awesome.
Oh man. Wow.
I am like beet red, man.
So.
All right, so folks, don't nuke hurricane. Also, so do you think this is an intentionally staged to try to make Trump look crazy, or
he already looks crazy? But last year,
he made the comment. Yes, he made the comment being Trump.
It was probably one of those things. Like, okay, Tombstone said it before. Donald Trump is like the taxi cab driver in New York. He just says stuff. It's stupid. It's dumb. But it's just like, hey, for conversation. So he's sitting in a briefing and he's like, they're like, hey, we're going to get a whole bunch of hurricanes this year. And he's like, why can't we just nuke them?
And I think that also his sometimes the nuking, I don't see any valid anything in the nuke, but like when he made the comment about we need a disinfectant for inside the body, that is his Donald from Queens level of knowledge of talking about some sort of medicine that can prevent and clean out the virus from your body. So he's not saying
he never said do bleach enemas?
He's saying just like bleach cleans an exterior surface, we need a medicine that cleans the interior.
So
it's dumb. It's like third grade talk because that's how he talks. I am not defending that part of him. My point is he's not as insane as the media makes him out to be, although he is still partially insane.
I got a text from a listener last night.
That was just Ozzy.
CDC says, no. This is on CNN. CNN's reporting. CDC says more Americans are gargling with bleach and washing their bodies in bleach than ever before.
Because it's up to 2 from 0.
Okay.
Seriously, I can't believe that many people are doing that. And if they are, that is survival of the fittest.
Listen. How are they finding this out? That's what I want to know.
How are they finding bleach? You can't find it in the stores.
No, that's true too. But how is CNN doing these Are they polling people? Are they knocking on their doors and going,
could you please respond if you've gargled bleach in the last 24 hours?
Okay, so this was...
Right, and you think you're going to get serious answers from people? Put that up on
Here you go, guys.
See how many crazy people say yes.
Yes, put up a poll that
was what it was. That was what it was.
Do you gargle with bleach
Guys?
once or twice a day?
This was a 502 respondent online survey done by the CDC in May. 39%
Because
had
it's-
misused cleaning products, and one
Because the
quarter had
peop-
adverse health effects
on.
that they
How
believe
many-
was a result. So
Okay,
this is all
so-
anecdotal.
So
So-
what they're
so-
saying is, out of the 500 people that answered, 98% of them were under AKA Babylon B, because they obviously CNN cannot understand.
So here's
satire at
the
all.
thing. Like, yeah, you've got the
There's-
people
there's
answering to
no
be
way.
dumb.
Right.
There's
You've
no
got the
way.
bad actors intentionally answering falsely because they think they can score political points
Right.
against their opponent.
And then
You
have
probably
the two
have a
people-
couple real people that did it and answered because if they're dumb enough to do it, they're dumb enough to answer the survey.
I'm just saying that, the Darwin Awards are still open in 2020,
Yes.
and those people probably aren't answering right now. So
So the question is, do you think this was a direct result? Do you think some of the responses are a direct result of the president making the statement that he
yes,
did?
I
yes,
bet there are a couple really dumb people out there.
that have
The
actually
A
done
may
it.
have tried to think of it on their own anyways, but they heard an idea like, that is a pretty good idea. Bleach kills stuff, I mean, what?
Well, like the two people with the what was that, hydrochloroquine or whatever.
Oh,
it was.
right.
It turned
right.
out. It turned out. It sounded like she was trying to kill her husband. Like, I think her name was Carol
Right.
Baskins, basically, because she, like,
That was her
has a
middle
zoo
name.
now.
Her middle name.
She has a zoo
Yeah,
now.
Did
by
you
the
guys
way.
see that? That's
yeah,
crazy.
she has Joe's zoo.
What
That's
happened?
interesting.
Guys, 2020. 2020.
2020.
What in
And
the
then-
world?
And then somebody
Until
shared something
Netflix
else where like there was some
released.
yeah, exactly. This is just weird. It's weird.
How did she get the zoo?
I don't know, man.
Manipulation,
Like,
man. She
Like,
is uber
let's
manipulative.
parse this out.
Social
Joe
justice
Exotic.
people.
Joe Exotic tried to kill Carol Baskins, right?
Sure.
Supposedly he
Hired
hired a hitman.
and then she gets his zoo. Like,
But
I'm
she's,
like,
well, but
it's like-
she's been in a long-term war back and forth with them. So it's that whole social justice. If you believe her line of reasoning, then give these poor animals over to her to take care of them. When really she is just the hippie flower child version of Joe Exotic. I don't see any difference between what she's doing and what he's doing. But
well,
Heartbreaking news right there. Let me
That's
tell
right.
you.
that's
We are
right.
trying to
Jeff.
get the woke crowd.
Jeff, have you watched
we
it
know
yet?
you're out there.
Yes, I watched it.
Oh,
all.
he watched it.
I
He
watched
watched it.
I watched
He watched it. He
I watched it.
it. Oh, you watched it.
So I can actually offer some insight because I watched it. Yes,
Yes, I knew
Yes.
it. I knew it.
watched it.
You can't help yourself, can you, Jeff?
My wife and I watched it in 2 nights. Binged the whole thing. Yep, no joke.
Oh,
It was-
Just say there,
It's for the
what's
same.
going on?"
It's
I
for the
can't.
same reason you watch live PD because you just can't look away from
Yeah,
the
you have
train
to.
wreck that is
Oh, my-
society. And you're looking at this going, this was going on during the 2016 elections. Like, how did you not hear any of this in the news, like nationally, that this was
Yep.
going on?
that's so funny.
So yes,
I
it
have held
was-
off
Wow.
thus far. I bet
I
there was
watched the
hoops
train
and
wreck.
hollers from inside your trailer, Jeff.
I can't.
Uh,
Well played, well played, well played.
Do you think he still has a
man.
mullet in prison?
Oh,
yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Dude, he's probably the #1 awesome person.
He's
in
the king of the
right
prison.
now. Like,
He's
oh,
the king
yeah.
of the prison.
He's now
Definitely.
Prison King instead of Tiger King.
Right.
New series coming next fall.
Oh, no.
Prison King.
Dude,
From the
Seriously,
producers of Live PD,
Yeah.
we introduce
Oh,
to
yeah.
you Prison King
Ugh.
live.
Oh my goodness, it's gonna be so bad.
Well,
Yep.
from
Yep.
what
All
I
right.
understand, he may be getting along very well in there.
So yeah, don't.
Wow.
Anyway,
Okay,
the
so
moral-
what was
the
the
moral
next
of the
public don't nuke her
the
No,
moral
again.
of
don't
the
say it. Don't say
story
it.
is
Don't say it, Ozzy.
That's the moral
Okay,
of the story.
okay.
Don't nuke hurricanes. That's the moral of the story.
We can go down the rabbit hole real easy, man.
Yeah,
don't do that either.
You're welcome, Jeff. You're welcome, Jeff. Unless you're Joe Exotic.
Prison Mike. Prison Mike. Okay. Where was the segment supposed to be going?
What?
Guys, did you see this video from Norway?
Yeah, I'm the one that put this up there, just so you know.
I know, but I didn't want to say that this time in case I was wrong.
Video, but didn't put it in here. So yes, we both know where this came from, whether you did or not.
See, I saw the video as well.
Did you know that it was from me and not you?
Yes, I did actually.
I like that you labeled it crazy.
It
is crazy.
I know.
It's crazy. So in Norway, there was a landslide that just swept off a huge chunk of land.
We're talking like 6 acres, 8 acres
into the ocean,
at least.
And it was like, it was insane.
Houses,
there's still
barns.
full built houses on this thing, and this is going like out into the middle of the land, just like on Dr. Dolittle, how that they
out in the middle of the
floating
ocean
island,
out
in the middle of the ocean. It's just gone.
So
it's incredible video.
I'm noticing the geography of the area though. It's all rocky, and then you've got the dirt.
Like
they must have had a lot of rain, like it just slid right off the dirt.
Yeah. Yes.
I mean, and those are huge houses too.
It's incredible.
There's a lot of so the reason for the landslide's not known, but there's a lot of quick clay in the region, which leads to unstable soil and rapid landslides.
It's just crazy.
Yeah. Could you imagine, like,
I never realized how much the houses in Norway look like New England. Like they're very New Englandish houses. Just an observation I made as I was watching.
That's because all the people from New England are Norse anyway.
I was gonna say I gotta feel like similar climate, similar lifestyle, very like winter at times. You have a winter, but it's nautical too. Like you have the sea, but the woodsy feel. I don't know. I feel like Norway,
houses,
Norway and the Northeast share similarities. I may be way off. I mean, we saw my answer for geography, but
is at the end of the movie they actually show Leif Erikson in his house in New England. So
okay, there you go. That explains it.
He's waving at the end of the video.
So we're still rolling this video here.
That's why he moved out.
I mean, this is just incredible.
It's insane. It's insane.
Well, hey, look, the houses are going back to land here.
It turns out that Leif Erikson didn't actually get in a Viking ship and discover the New World. He went to bed and woke up, and his house had just slid off the side of his country, floated across the ocean, and bumped into another piece of land.
Yes.
That video was courtesy of Jan Frederick Drablos.
Sure.
If I'm saying that properly. I gotta give the right. I
don't know how to say it either.
I don't know how to say it either.
I don't either, but I'm going to judge you because you mispronounced everything.
Yes.
His name is Jahan Smahitith. No, I think it's John Smith, Mathis. I think it's John Smith.
John Smith. Guys, that's crazy. Our DA of the day today comes to us from
Philadelphia,
New Jersey.
No,
Wait,
it's Philadelphia.
I was gonna say New Jersey and just never mind.
Gentleman proceeds to try to steal an ATM machine or open one.
I think he was trying to open it.
That's repetitively redundant there.
So they have tried to open the stolen. No, they're trying to open these ATMs. And so someone got the bright idea to use explosives, which
might be the right idea, but you need some skills to use them.
Right. You also
not that I am condoning stealing from ATMs.
You also probably need something a little bit better than M80s. I'm just saying. So so this dude decides that that other people have done this, that he's going to try and do this. I don't know. Maybe he got away with one. But they're going to try and blow open this ATM to get the cash boxes, or blow open the cash boxes, the whole thing. I don't know. And proceeds to Darwin Award himself for opening or trying to blow open this ATM.
Did he successfully blow open the ATM?
He successfully blew open something.
Well, but did the ATM
don't
open,
think
or
so.
did not
I don't-
only he
I
earn
don't
a
think
Darwin
so.
Award, but he did
I
not successfully
think
crack
so.
the ATM?
I don't believe so.
That's
because
unfortunate.
it takes several of these to blow open those things. They're not exactly.
Wait.
easy.
Wait. That
I'm not
sounded
gonna
like
tell
a
you why I
statement
know
of
that.
experience and fact.
I
He's
can
like,
neither
well, first
confirm
off,
nor
it takes
deny.
several
This
of
is
these to
inside a
open one.
gas station.
But I'm
The
just
ATM
saying,
is
Oh,
inside a gas
perfect.
station.
Perfect.
Philadelphia may or may not be somewhere I have recently visited.
That's wow. Wow. Thank
But
you.
anyway, don't do that. That is.
He
that
he
is
shows an
definitely-
M80 in the slot
Yeah, because why not? Why not?
and
The
then
question
runs
is,
out
so-
the door.
But he didn't run far enough, apparently.
Apparently,
So was he standing right next to it, watching it happen? Did
No,
he
he
get
runs
hit by
out the door.
shrapnel?
He ran out the door.
he
The-
probably got hit with glass or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
exactly
he
what his
ran
dive's
out the
from,
door.
but-
It's an armored what do you call it? It's an armored gas station wall windows, to keep the
like
shootings,
the bulletproof windows.
bulletproof windows.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're minorly explosive proof.
So wait. So I'm still confused.
Like he
on
ran
how
out the door, and I think he got nailed when he ran out the door. I think
So his fuse was way too short. Is what you're saying?
Yeah.
in more ways than one.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Yep.
I mean, loss of life is always tragic. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes.
Wait. So was he killed or not?
Thought it was-
Oh, that's crazy. This is not the first time this has happened, guys.
Wait.
The video I
Was-
just
he
showed the
wa-
YouTube family was from June 22nd, 2018.
Wait, so this isn't even a current event?
No.
Am I calling out?
He can't Google.
No, this January
He is a
30th.
bit of a boomer.
No, like this is a regular thing that happens. January 30th.
Wait, so people attempting to blow up ATMs happens all the time.
4 days ago. Here we go. Yes, people try to blow up ATMs all the time. This is very
Well, yeah.
interesting. So this is 24-year-old
of
man killed when he tried to blow up an ATM in Philadelphia. This is this week, June 2nd. Several ATMs were vandalized. Explosion outside of Sidekick Sports Bar. So the video I showed was not the right ATM. No one was
Okay,
injured in that
makes more
one.
sense.
This guy, yes, he tried to blow it up and apparently did not walk away.
Yeah.
In more ways than one. Like he probably didn't walk away from the explosion far enough, and then he didn't walk away.
Just walk
from the
away,
explosion.
guys.
That's-
Just
I probably
walk
shouldn't have said
away.
that.
Just walk
I need
away.
to walk away from that one.
Just walk
Okay, here
away.
we go.
Again,
Anyway, let's
loss-
walk away from this.
Loss of life is tragic. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Hence the name, the Darwin Awards,
Yeah.
So, okay,
which DA
all right.
stands for Darwin Award and also something else.
So,
DA of the day.
so what is this Corona monkey escapes from lab? What in the world? What is going on? 2020,
2020
What is
This
going
is how
on?
Planet of the Apes starts.
right?
2020
them
basically
guns.
just kicked us in the huevos and then is coming back for more.
Wait, is that like
What?
eggs with a
The
Q?
what?
That's
What's a
eggs.
Quavos?
Huevos.
Oh, okay.
Huevos.
Is that like Cadoba?
Two rounds with Jose Quavos.
See, I had this with Quavos. Well, we might need that after this year.
How did
Um,
we get onto
I don't
this?
even know what he's saying.
What?
2020 is just not being very nice. This is
It's like Gaddafi.
2020 needs a Snickers.
It's like a Gaddafi.
I don't understand. Monkeys escape with COVID-19 samples after attacking an
Aren't you the
assistant?
one that put this on here? What
I
do you
don't
mean you
remember.
understand?
In a bizarre incident, a group of monkeys attacked
Okay.
a lab assistant in
Time out.
Marut
Do
Medical
you-
College in Delhi, India.
Do you just
Time
have
out.
like selective memory? You just post things and then I'm like, all right, rewind, forget that,
When-
and then go on with
Guys, this
When the
week,
article starts with right above the words a little link you can click on that says why you can trust Sky News. Can I actually trust Sky News? Like, let's be
maybe
honest.
I don't know.
Oh,
So the animal snatched COVID-19 blood samples that were taken from 3 patients, and then they fled.
how is that even
Uh,
possible? How did they get into a lab?
They didn't get into a
Why
lab.
Were they were already in the
Why
lab. Why were
they-
the monkeys
Why
near
did
the
they
blood samples?
No. The
Wait, and why did they
assistant,
escape with them?
I believe,
Who's the
as I'm
person
reading
that was
this,
like,
as
"This
I'm
is a
reading
great
this here,
idea"?
what
You
is
didn't
that
read the
noise?
article? Didn't you post?
No, I didn't read it. 2 red-faced rhesus monkeys attacked the lab assistant. It seems like it was outside the.
Is there peanut butter inside of them?
I don't know. Monkeys
not
in India.
Reese's.
Why do they have such an issue with monkeys in India?
I don't
Are
know.
they revered as
They're sacred.
Are they? I know
sacred.
the
Yes, there's certain
cows
cities,
are.
cows are sacred over
there's
there.
certain cities, if I'm not incorrect, and I believe I'm not, there are certain cities in India that are
Do you
sacred.
ever believe you're incorrect?
What's that intro? Because 4 quarters don't equal $1. If I'm correct.
Yeah, it says a
It's
quarter.
I know I
real
am.
me.
It says $1 for have or whatever. Yeah. I can't even think of it now. I'm laughing.
Y'all,
So hard. Okay.
This is
Was
real
that
to
was
me,
that
all right?
clean enough? We laughed, but was that clean enough to get into an intro? Because we need an Ozzy intro of him just saying like, if I think I'm correct, which I do, or whatever.
Oh, we're gonna make sure that's clean enough.
Yes, do it. Do it.
Oh man.
Do it.
Yeah, no,
We're
I
talking
think you're
about-
right. I think you're right, Ozzy. But it's just funny because like the picture with the article isn't even the same type of monkey. It's just a monkey on a power line over there, and I'm just thinking to myself like, so is it like squirrels here where they walk across the power lines like it's monkeys there?
Oh
And
yeah.
have you ever been around when a squirrel gets zapped by a power line and falls down?
Oh,
And now it's an entire
Oh.
entire monkey just wham and just falls off the power line. That's got to be a
because
little.
didn't we do
gotta
we
be
did
a
this
little
article?
crazy.
No. Remember, because we did the monkey article where the people bought the bear suits.
that's right. To
To
run off
scare
the
the
monkeys.
monkeys
That
off.
was
When
in
when
India.
President Trump went over
Yeah.
to
That was
visit.
in India.
Yeah.
That was in India. Remember? Because they couldn't shoot them. They have to scare them.
Oh, that's so funny.
Guys, they need to fix their monkeys.
Well, so
Wait,
so
what?
apparently
Look, if
confused.
you're not killing them and you're not eating them, they're just gonna out. Like,
the article
you
is
try and hold a
not.
monkey down and do that. We fixed the monkey problem.
We fixed the monkey problem. Sorry,
Oh
Jeff.
boy. I know. I was trying to figure out how they got into the.
Like, I don't think they got into the lab. I think the lab assistant had them outside the lab, which makes me
So
wonder
With
why
they have
bags-
blood samples
with bags
outside
of
the lab.
blood? What? Why was that the thing that the monkeys grabbed? Like they're
I-
just
it
like
just
I'm gonna
seems
because
blow
they're
really
this
weird.
crafty
blood.
little buggers.
Were these? Well, they do say that they're
Are
trying
they
to get food.
Are they vampiric? What is
Are
going
they
on?
trained by the Chinese to steal the blood samples back so we can't figure out that this came from the lab?
Oh, that's good.
Oh,
That's good.
rumor I heard this week,
Oh,
or a.
Good job. You just set him off on
I
something
know,
else.
I know.
Oh,
Listen,
Okay,
the wall
so China-
has already fallen. It's
So
fine.
in China, cell phone numbers are attached to you for life. You
that
can't
wall has not fallen.
you
the
can't
Chinese
change.
wall.
You cannot change your cell phone number. They had over 2 million of them released last month. Which
Wait,
is
so-
it's normally like 100,000 released every month. It was over
what
2
you're
million.
So what you're saying is Chinese people don't get the joke of new phone who dis?
I don't think you can say that.
Ozzy thought it was funny.
I did not.
So
That's like a meme. Like it's just a joke. You're always like, whether you're blowing somebody off or what, it's like new phone. What? Who is this? Oh boy. Anyway,
okay.
let's go back to the serious point you were trying to
No,
make.
well,
Let's go back to the serious point.
so normally
2
there's,
million
like-
phone numbers that are supposedly locked in for life have been released. Indicating a large death toll.
indicating 180,000, 190,000,
Ooh, okay,
190.
well,
Yeah.
Way to bring
Or
that around.
One
to depression.
1.9 million. Yeah. Anyways, you're welcome for that. I heard that this week.
I've got something, but we can't talk about it on the air.
Oh boy.
Okay, Ozzy. We'll talk about it after we're done today.
It's freshness spray for something.
Excuse me? Freshness spray?
Wait, what?
Wait, what? You can't just intro something like that and then drop
Is
it.
this our first advertisement?
Here you go.
Why do no. Why do you click on ads? Don't click on ads. Do not click on ads.
I hope you have
Ozzy.
a real good like ad tracker blocker on your computer because yeah.
What in the world, Ozzy? No.
I'm glad I'm running a VPN.
Okay, we're out. www.thefrontporchshow.com. You can listen to us on iTunes, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Stitcher, anywhere you like to get your online content. And you can see us. You can see our ugly mugs on YouTube every week.
Not worth it.
It'll help the monkeys when they get fixed.
No, shut up, Ozzy. We're done. Go home. Go home.
I think you may just want to skip your download after this episode, Mathis. You're going to want to forget this one.